morning and welcome to Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. If you're new to us today, I'm Ruth Hall. I'm the president of the Board of Trustees, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to welcome you. Those of you who are in person, as well as our Zoom participants, thank you for being here. I want to thank the people that are here in person, especially for following our COVID protocols. Thank you so much for wearing your mask and using your hand sanitizers and making it safe for everyone. We want to make sure that everyone that comes feels secure and that we're not going to have anybody who's going to get sick. That's our main purpose. So go ahead and show the next slide. We're going to talk about the fact that we are recording this service today, and it will be posted on social media. We post it to YouTube, and then we put that link on our website and Facebook. So if you don't want to be seen on video, change your name, shut off your video. That's okay. We're good with that. We're glad you're here. Next thing we want to say is that those of you who are tuning in on YouTube, thank you so much for your contributions, for your donations to help us continue that platform. It does cost money to pay for YouTube and for our website to have all the special things that's on there. So your donations are greatly appreciated, and please continue sending those. And speaking of donations, if you haven't already checked this out, if you are donating to us on PayPal, realize that we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and you do not need to pay for a product or service. You need to choose that you are paying or giving to a friend or family, because that way we don't get charged a fee. So please make sure when you're going into PayPal that you make that choice. If you're having trouble with it, call me, I'll help you out, or we'll get some information to you. Next slide. We are in this beautiful building right now, but for those of you who've been around for a while, you know that we have been visioning and praying for Spirit's idea of our next best place to be. And I want to share with you that there is a very big possibility that our landlord has a new tenant that will be taking over our lease. They are, as we speak, filling out the paperwork. They're applying for their 501c3 so they can get that all done. And they really are hoping to move in on September 1st. So that means that we will be ready for our next best thing. And if you're interested, knowing more about this, we're having a board meeting on Zoom tonight at 6 o'clock. You're welcome to come and listen in to the conversation. If you have any questions, you can email us or give us a call and we'll share that with you. But just keep praying and just keep visioning about where we're going to be next, because it's going to be amazing. And so now, with no more further ado, I'd like to introduce our senior minister, Reverend Sharon Dunn, and welcome her to the stage. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. So, that was amazing, Ruth. I think she should do that every week. She was quite a speaker. That was wonderful. So I'm excited. I was excited to hear all that good news. And I want to tell you also that we are going to be celebrating our 6th birthday on the 21st of August at Memphis Flat. And that is, we're going to put a little slide there. And you're also able to see this on our website. So you can see the information. We're going to be celebrating. We're going to go early and get a good spot, and you can bring cooler, chairs, drinks, and snacks, everything that it says here on the slide: beach toys, sunscreen, life jackets if you're going to go into the current. And we're going to stay safe by being outdoors and continuing to social distance ourselves. And we want to just make sure we stay safe, but we also want to make sure we have some fun together. So,
do we need to RSVP?
that would be great. You So there is an RSVP on the bottom of the slide to our website, so that, or to our email. So we don't have any burgers. What do they call that new burger? It's made out of plant. We'll have both of those. We'll have veggie dogs and dogs, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So let us know if you're coming, so we know to get food for you. And I think that's it. Why don't we unmute and say good morning to each other? Why don't we say good morning to one another? And good morning to those on Zoom. I thought I saw Carol Evans. Is that possible? I missed you so much. It looks like there's a Carol P, and I'm wondering if that's Carol Evans. But anyway, whoever that is, good morning. Good morning. Hi, Dwayne. Hi, Diane. Oh, Carol Evans. Oh, my goodness.
Good morning.
I miss you, girl.
Good Margie.
Hi, Ann.
Hi, girl.
Thinking about you, Ann. That's wonderful. And of course, good morning to everybody in the room. Thank you for everything you're doing. We know Patrick and Linda are gone this morning, so Doug is our sound man and doing a great job. So I am going to introduce you to the practitioner of the day. And Margie, I think you're there somewhere. Is she? Yes, upper right. There she is, upper right. Good morning, love. I'm going to have you take over.
And now, knowing that we are one. We are one with the divine presence of all there is. It's beauty, it's life, it's love, it's joy, it's peace. It's all that's good, for it's all that's God. And as I am aware and anchored in this wonderful knowing of all that is, I know that I am, as well as all of us, are one and the same. For we are one, connected to each other in love. And as I know this, I bless the service today. We all bless it. And we know that we'll get the perfect message for each one of us. From Reverend Sharon, and we bless all the people today here and online on Zoom. And we know that we have a wonderful week. And so and now, please enjoy our readings. The creative power responds to feeling more quickly than any other mental attitude. Science. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Albert Einstein. If you have to find what sparks a light in you so that you, in your own way, can illuminate the world, you can. Oprah Winfrey. And now please enjoy our guided meditation, imagination, followed by the true music, true wind music, Bev Bartlett and Gray Moon. Our guest musician this morning are Bev Bartlett and Gray Moon, who I mentioned, who we claim as a part of our Sacramento CSL family after they relocated here from San Jose area. Bev and Greg are partners in both life and music. They have recorded 3 CDs and have shared their message that love can change the world. from Seattle to Austin and LA to Chicago. Their original songs provide a positive message of hope and unity, and we are so happy to have Bev and Greg and in person again. Please join me in welcoming Bev Bartlett and Greg Newland after our meditation. Thank you. Namaste.
I wanted to take a few minutes of your time, focus on your imagination, to focus on how to make your thoughts and imagination reach into the depths of your soul. First, I would like you to place yourself in a comfortable, relaxed position. If you are sitting up, put your feet firmly on the ground. If you are lying down, make sure your body is totally relaxed. Then, close your eyes. As you close your eyes, you step into the world of imagination. You will close the door to any distractions and detach from everyday reality. Slowly take a deep breath. Hold it. Now release the breath. As you feel your thoughts slowing down, take another breath. Let the soft air flow into your lungs and hold it. Now, let it out. Take one more soft, slow breath of air. Hold it. And let the oxygen spread through your body. As you exhale, let the breath push away all that distracts you, both internally and externally. Let no external or internal distractions remain in your body. We now focus on imagination, how we can use the power of our imagination to change reality. By imagining possibilities, we can change the future. Leave negative words outside the realm of your imagination. Lock the door to words such as can't, impossible, hate. Open the doors to words such as possibility, opportunity, and love. You have the gift of imagination, and imagination will lead you on the right path. With the help of your imagination, you can focus on what makes you feel good. Focus on the things in life that make you feel whole and complete. Imagine a place where you can feel completely free and safe from the worries of the world. Think about how you can show love to others, but also how you can love yourself. Think about where you are and where you would like to be. Take one idea at a time and let your imagination be more than just imagination. Find the path that will lead you from the imagined to reality. One day at a time. Accept the notion that you can have the power. You can have anything you want. You can do anything you want.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. So begin with a spin, traveling in the world of your creation. What you'll see will define explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world, there's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with your imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world, there's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to
How is that to have live music?
Yes.
I may have cried through the whole thing. Thank you very much. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. So you may have guessed that we're talking about imagination today. So our theme for August is a pause for guidance. And I'm suddenly inspired to tell you who I am. In case you don't know, or in case you're watching this for the first time, I am Reverend Sharon Dunn. I'm a senior minister, founding and senior minister here at the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. And I am so thrilled to be here. I'm so thrilled for all of you to be here, and I'm so thrilled for everyone who's watching. And so as I go on, our topic for today is sparking imagination. And the question I want to ask is, does my imagination run away from my highest good or towards my highest good? So, does your imagination run away from your highest good or toward your highest good? I want you to think about that with me while we're talking about imagination. And so I'm going to talk about three things: imagine, adrift, and sparks. Imagine adrift and sparks. And as you know, every week I have our declaration of principles that is written by Ernest Holmes, our founder and teacher. And this week it's we believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. I didn't say God out there, did I? I said God, indwelling. That's what we believe here. We believe we co-create. So as far as imagination goes, as New Thought students or practitioners of science of mind or whatever you want to call yourselves, we prove metaphysical principle for ourselves. And I think that's what we love so much about this teaching. Because don't we start out in foundations and we say, just imagine whatever you want to have right now that's different. Sometimes it's a new car, sometimes it's a job, sometimes it's a boyfriend, sometimes it's something that's right here into the immediate. And then as we grow into the teaching, we start to imagine much bigger things, don't we? Like world peace, a world that works for everyone. What can I do to contribute to that vision? So we prove metaphysical principle. And a newcomer to our teaching is urged to, I love this, make definite the infinite. Make definite the infinite. It's a big idea, isn't it? It is a big idea, but if spirit, if creation is created by the creator, if creator creates creation, then we have to be of that, don't we? It's not going to create something outside of itself. So it's created each one of us as an infinite being. So there's the part of us that is never born and never dies, ever expanding. I call it the soul. People call it different things. I like to think of the soul as the imprint of the one. And that interesting that soul is imprinted before we get here, before all of us get here. And so we're all connected before we get here. Does this make sense? And so we're connected when we're here, in that soul. And so from that place, we can imagine a world that works for everyone and contribute to it. Contribute to it. So it's the individual learning to consciously create through universal mind. So this is something that we do consciously. I was just, when Ben and Greg started singing, something happened to me. And, I was talking to my prayer partner about how important the music is. The message is one thing. It gives us something to think about. But nothing I just got goosebumps. Nothing throws open that portal door, does it? Like a song, like music, live music. And then, of course, that song was from the Willy Wonka, and it's from Disney. And who loved imagination for the Disney? What did he create for our world? Wow, can you imagine? So, however, the lists of our wants, our needs, and our desires present kind of a limitation for one who now glimpses the vastness of the infinite creative. So don't you think sometimes from your imagination about what you want and you think that's all there is? But because you don't have that, and so that would be big. I think that would be wonderful. Well, I was sitting here listening to them sing, and all of a sudden my heart opened, and I started to pray. I started to commune with the one, and I started to give thanks. I started to give thanks for all that is. And we don't know where we're going. We don't know where we're going. We know that this building is for sale and that we have to go. And we want to because we have been visioning and we see something bigger. But we trust in the vision. The vision drives itself. The imagination, our imagination. And I'm not saying Sharon's imagination when we're visioning. I'm not saying Ruth's imagination. I'm saying we vision for Spirit's idea of itself as where we're going. Much better idea than my idea because, I have a little GPS issue. No one is more grateful for GPS than me. And that's no one. No one. So, I wanted to tell you about a little experience I had. I wanted to watch this documentary on the 100-foot wave. Have you heard of it? Well, it was advertised, and I thought, 100-foot wave? Isn't that a tidal wave? And the movie's about people who surf giant waves. Does that sound like something you'd like to do? No, we're getting a lot of head shakes. No. So I thought, I want to see that. I want to see what a 100-foot wave looks like. And sure enough, they do look like tidal waves. But anyway, they use a jet ski to take the surfer to the wave. They're that big. You can't paddle. You can't even see the person. When they're videoing the surfer, you can't even see them. They have to put a little light on them, like a little cursor, like Ruth does, to help us follow along what she's talking about. And so I was watching this, and the surfer, what courage! And what they want to do is they want to ride that wave. They want to compete. Who can ride successfully the biggest wave in the world? So so you see them in this documentary getting excited and getting ready and just having just no fear. And then the wipeout. That little body, that tiny little body on that wave just started slapping down the wave. Pow, pow. Like it was a doll, like a rag doll. And so then you see the rest of the story. Sorry, telling the story, but I'm using it for an example of imagination. And there's like a year or two of rehab and recovery. Praise God, the person lives. And then they start training to come back, to catch that big wave. But they're not the same. What if I really want to catch that big wave anymore? Isn't that interesting? Because they're not imagining for newness. They're imagining from what was. And the fear is great. And it may be bigger than a 100-foot wave. Does this relate? Anybody relate to this story? That we're not imagining from the past, are we? And if we are, then we're imagining from limitation. So when you start to think about things that you desire in life, and you're coming up with some things that have already happened to you, you might want to go deeper. You might want to go deeper. And so I really, really enjoyed this, this idea of, am I mindful of a triggered imagination versus a sparked imagination? So listen to this. This is a study, this professor from neuroeconomics from Emory University says perception and imagination are linked because the brain uses the same neural circuits for both functions. Imagination is like running perception in reverse. that make sense? So when you call to mind something you've never actually seen, it's a lot easier to think creatively than if you try to imagine something that's familiar to you. That's because the brain can't rely on connections that have been shaped by past experience. So the surest way to provoke the imagination is to seek out environments you've no experience with. Isn't that a great idea? I'm looking at Connie because she and Ken hike. Isn't that, you hike places you've never been before. And is that different than when you hike something that you've already hiked? This is really big stuff. Because I think we can get complacent. Let me just say, I can get complacent. And I can get into, thinking, this is nice, it's familiar. I don't have to stretch, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to open. I don't have to open my heart, I don't have to open my mind, I don't have to open my body. I'm like, good, I'm good. Oh, I hear some laughter. Oh my goodness. This is interesting that they continue to say, when books become movies, they prescribe our thinking and deplete us of our imagination. Isn't that interesting that you read a book and you can just imagine it? As soon as they make a movie out of it, you're like, oh, I didn't see it that way at all. I didn't see it that way at all. So a way to understand daydreaming and creative thinking is this. Creativity is enhanced when you begin to recognize that many of your fantasies may have relevance to some of the kinds of things that you're interested in doing. So your fantasies, pay attention to them. Our fantasies, ooh, that'd be really good. I'm not going to fill in your fantasy for you, but because I got plenty of my own, but fantasies they're information. It's information. Creative imagination takes place when you start thinking about the what ifs. So if you have that fantasy, then you're thinking, well, what if? What if I could have that? Are you remembering, thinking about the future, or imagining? Can we be mindful this week? Are we remembering, thinking about the future, or imagining? So go to a museum, take a walk, read a book set in an unfamiliar place. So you're reading a book about someplace you've never been before. I'm sure, I'm looking at Patricia because she's such an avid reader. I'm sure I think she would rather spend time in a book than anywhere else, except for with Doug, of course. So let's talk about adrift. Now, this is not a make wrong, but the quality and character of one's imagination often corresponds to one's mental and emotional state. Yes? Feeling adrift from the living spirit is what we're talking about here. Taking control of the world. Who does that? Oh no, I'm the only hand up. Oh, that's not good. Feeling adrift is feeling adrift from that inner divine spark. I mean, you know that you're walking around with that at all times. Doesn't that make you wonder, like, oh, forgot. I forgot. We forget that we're walking around with that spark. This candle, there's a spark. Light the candle if that helps you to remember that you have a divine spark within you. So here it talks about being adrift is one's thinking, if you're agitated, anxious, separate, disconnected. If one's thinking is dominated by thoughts of lack, I don't know why I'm laughing. Maybe I'm relating to it. Limitation, scarcity, or density, or scarcity or density. Oh, this is going to get worse. They added a plus, the delta. Yikes. This mental and emotional state of unrest, right, can deter your imagination. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? On the other hand, feelings of calm, receptive, connected, affluent, abundant, free, and refreshed sparks the imagination. And what happens? The highest and best possibilities avail themselves. I love Sarah, Reverend Sarah's email always says, and what else is possible? What else is possible? She lives that, that's the signature of her email. You see how you can kind of plug it in so that you're constantly remembering that there is a spark, and last but not least, these sparks. So a calm and receptive consciousness sparks your imagination. Now, we can get scared. That's not imagination. That's scared. So there's a difference. There's a difference. And we want to use, drum roll please, what do I talk about every week? We want to use our spiritual practice to stay tuned and keep us refreshed, awake, alert, in the flow, circulating your good, compassionate. The more you feel in the flow of spirit, the more you constructively use your imagination. Imagining something greater and more expansive naturally creates a greater life for you and the lives of others. So, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for me. Do it for each other. So in conclusion, in summary, are you all ready to start being a little more mindful this week, using your imagination? So add or amplify an intention. Who's willing? This may mean you adjust, attune, and redirect your spiritual practices. Of course, we said to include imagination and creative expression. I love that Reverend Patricia is doing her busy hands, warm hearts. Now, isn't that imagination? Because you're walking in and you're doing something brand new. Notice each time you have new thoughts. This is really cool. I mean, I never thought of this before. But I journal. I don't know if you journal, but that's a spiritual practice that I enjoy. And so it talks about, notice your new thoughts, your ideas, feelings, inklings, and intuition. Do you ever get a new thought and it just comes to you, and then that, you just kind of don't pay attention to it? You're like, what? Nice. Notice that this week. And you know that if you make a commitment to do these things, you will. Because as soon as you have a new thought, you're going to, I think that's a new thought. You're going to pay attention to that. In those moments of imagination, notice the feelings. Notice the qualities that arise. What is it? Is it joy? Is it creativity? Is it power? Is it wisdom? Is it intelligence? Is it love? Is it love? That's on my list. So notice those things. Notice that how the imagination shifts your entire being, your mind, your body, your spirit. So sometimes I'll get a new idea and I won't even stop long enough to even check it out. Where is it in my body? Where is it alive in me? I'm in a hurry. This has been such a fun week for me to have this material in front of me and to be able to live it. I'm telling you, it's wonderful. This whole month, I love our month of having fun and being in imagination and all these wonderful things we're doing. Make a date with yourself this week to become quiet, still, calm, and refreshed, and then let your imagination take you on a great adventure. And couples can do this together. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Let's make a date to go to the Willy Wonka chocolate factory. Include any strong positive feelings that arise in your treatments and affirmations. So when you get one, stop, drop, and pray. Give thanks for it. Make it bigger. Grab that, catch it. And last, ask, am I committed to taking time each day to imagine the best for myself and for you? We're going to have a great week. Let's pray. Oh, my heavens, I am so grateful to know that there's a spirit, the Creator created creation, creating all that is good. Has to be good because it's infinite. Can't be opposed. It can't be annihilated. It's forever and ever, was here before and will be here after. And it is always present, ever present. It is the ever-present spirit, a loving presence. And that life, that one life is my life, the life of each of us, and we're connected in it. And so I declare right here and right now my commitment to creating a world that works for everyone by creating my own world working for me. What is it? I'm quiet. I'm listening. I've made time. I'm on a date with spirit. What is it? What is Spirit's idea of itself as my greatest opportunity? My greatest yet to be, something I've never, ever even thought of. But within me, as I was born with the eternal life. I was born with all of that potential and possibility. So I'm not getting it anywhere. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. I'm here now. I'm listening. And before I hear anything, I give thanks from the depths of my soul for my life that is nothing but this infinite potential. That joy is mine, and life is mine, and abundance is mine, and all that is good is mine, and is good for all of us. For all of us, for everyone. Everyone. So I am so grateful to know this. I'm so grateful to know that there's a power and a presence. That I change my thinking and I change my life. And every moment, I'm humbled in gratitude. And as we know, this prayer is answered with such thanksgiving for that. I released my word into the law that was like, it's about time. This too, and more shall be done. And please affirm with me as we say, and so it is. Oops. Thank you.
When you do what you love.
Oh, grab that brass ring. I love that song. Well, everyone here, I'll guarantee it, in this room, and hopefully everybody who's listening loves what we do. I know everyone here loves what we're doing right now. Wow. This is our time for our offering, and we are offering you the opportunity to give from your heart and to give from your love, to give from your gratitude, and to give in support of what you love. So there's lots of different ways to give, and you can give by check by sending it to us. There's a slide up there that shows you where our address is. You can also go on our website or into your own PayPal account. And remember, since we're a 501c3, when you go through PayPal, make sure that you are giving to your friends and family, because that's what we are. We're your community. We are your family, or we want to be your family. Please join us. And that saves everybody money, which we all love to do. Increases our prosperity. Now, if you would say with me, our abundance affirmation, please keep yourself muted, those of you who are on Zoom, and say with me, abiding by the law of circulation and heartfelt gratitude, I affirm that I live in a creative and abundant universe that continuously flows in, through, and out as me, expressing as the ever-expanding infinite good. And so it is. Take those words to heart. You really mean it. Your good expresses through you. Can we accept it? And thank you for it. Now, on to announcements. As was mentioned earlier, twice a month we get together, probably half a dozen of us at this point get together, and we bring our own coffee or tea or Coca-Cola or whatever your morning beverage is, and we do whatever we want to do with our hands. We have rock painting, we have mandala making, we have crocheting, we have all kinds of stuff. Just bring whatever your heart desires and whatever your fiddly fingers love to do. And mostly it's just fun to sit and talk. And we just have a wonderful warm time in a glorious outdoor setting on my patio, which is full of flowers and trees, and it's just really lovely. So come join us. Everyone is welcome. Gender is not an option. No. Gender.
Can't have any gender.
Gender is no hindrance. Everyone is welcome. We'd like to have some more men involved. So, what is it? The Olympic swimmer who taught everybody that men knit?
Oh, right.
Yeah, come. Reverend Debbie Putnam is doing a book study on Richard Rohr's book, The Universal Christ. This is part 2, but you don't have to have been there for part 1. And it starts Saturday, September 4th. But before that, we have our 6th birthday celebration, where we are going to follow this month's theme to the infinite. And we're going to have fun and play at the Nimbus Flat. Bring everything except major food, because we're going to have hamburgers and hot dogs and veggie burgers, veggie hot dogs. But bring your drinks and bring side dishes and bring your toys and you bring some shade if you want, and make sure you bring sunscreen and shoes if you're going to go in the water, and we're just going to play. So come join with us. We do have one other announcement we don't have the slide for. The size of my 100 series class, the 4th class and final. And again, you don't have to have attended any of the ones before this one. This one is called The Principles of Successful Living, and it will start Tuesday night, the 7th of September at 6 o'clock. And if you have more questions, give me a call, but we will get it up on the website, and we will get it up on Meetup. I forgot to tell people that I was doing this, so we're doing this. Prayer requests, we are always open for prayer requests. You can put them in the chat if you're on Zoom. You can go on our website, and there's actually a place on the website for prayer requests. So just type in what you want, what you'd like to see different, what you'd like to have more of, and the practitioners would be delighted to know that truth for you. Now, we have our affirmation. This is a gift that we give to you to take through the week to keep this alive for you. So please say with me, my imagination grows my consciousness and expands my life now. I'm going to do our benediction, and then we're going to have a closing song. Stay, please, stay for us. Stay with us for a social time. And in the continuum awareness, there is one life, one joy, one presence that is in, through, and as all. I know that's who and what I am. It is who and what you are. And I know I take everything from this morning. The wonderful words, the fabulous music, and the love and the peace and the joy that is in the hearts of everyone in this room and everyone who's. I'm going to take that out into the world. I invite you to join me, to be the presence of love in the world, to be the presence of joy. So, yeah, microphone.
Sing this along with us. We're just going to repeat this last verse, and you can sing it with us if you like. When you do what you love, and you trust what you know, you'll grab the brass ring till you finally let go. When you know what you love, and you trust what you do, you set your sights high, it's all waiting for you. When you do what you love, and you trust what you know, when you do what you love, and you trust what you know, when you do what you love, and you trust what you know, you'll grab the brass ring and finally let go.
That's a great song.